There are 3 times in my life when everything fell apart. Once as a lost kid, once as an addict, and once as a father with everything to lose. During the first 2 times, I thought it was over. No future, no plan, no money. But the third time, I didn't fall all the way down because I had a skill. The skill was coding, and it saved my life. You might be watching this feeling like it's over. You're stuck in a job you hate. You've got nothing to show for the last 10 years, or maybe you're young, but you feel like life already passed you by. You grind hard in school, but you feel like you'll never amount to anything. I know what all of that feels like, but I want to tell you something that is real. It's that there's still time. There's still a way back. I hope my story can resonate with you because coding saved my life. It changed my life. The first time I fell off, I was 19. My girlfriend, who I had been with since high school, left me. My parents got divorced. This all happened at the same time. It was like my whole life cracked in half overnight. I started spiraling out of control, partying every night, drugs, the wrong crowd, reckless behavior. I didn't care what happened to me. My mom, she saw everything and she gave me a choice. Stay here in the US and keep destroying myself, or pack my bags and go with her to Korea. It was New Year's Day, 2009. We got on a flight to a country I barely knew. I didn't speak the language, I had no friends, definitely no job, no skills, and yet that was the start of my rebuild. It wasn't easy. I was completely lost in a foreign place. I couldn't even read the bus signs. The Korean alphabet looked like tiny men with hats and axes. Every street, every store, every interaction felt like I was drowning. But being there forced me to face myself. There was no distraction. There was no easy way out. Just me and my broken pieces. So I started over. I started to study Korean, met new people, slowly built confidence. This was the beginning of my rebuild. It stripped away my old identity, but it also gave me the chance to find out who I really was, who I really could be. Eventually, I found myself coming back to the States. I thought I had matured. I told myself, I am different now. I won't fall again. But I was wrong. First day back, my friends picked me up from the airport. I kid you not, as soon as I met these guys, I got offered a blunt. As soon as I took that first hit, I fell straight into my old life. It happened within a blink of an eye. Within a few days, I was in parties, I was selling again, lying to my mom, and before I knew it, I was homeless, rotating between motels, friends, couches, and the street. I sold whatever I could. This fueled my opiate addiction. I woke up every day with no money and no plan. There was even a point where I was living in these trap houses. There was a gambling machine in the corner, people passed out on the floors. I was living in these houses run by drug addicts that you see in those movies. It felt like hell. And then I landed in jail. Alone, cold, no phone, no passport. I could tell you the whole story of how I ended up here, but it wasn't good. I was so scared. I had burned every bridge. My dad wouldn't talk to me. My mom was thousands of miles away. But the worst of it all was that I didn't even know who I was anymore. This was my second rock bottom. The kind that makes you question if you'll ever come back. If you even deserve to. But somehow, with help, with mercy, with grace, and understanding parents, I made it back to Korea. And I swore I wouldn't waste that second chance. When I got back to Korea, I was embarrassed, ashamed. My mom didn't even yell at me. She just had that look. So disappointed, yet so silent. This was way worse than anger. It's the silence that tells you you've become someone no one believes in anymore. I had only one option. I worked. I taught English. I saved money. I tried to build a routine. And slowly, brick by brick, I started climbing again. 5 years went by. I was 30 years old, and even if I was making money, I was living day by day, working hard day and night just to scrape by. One day, I was playing Madden and there was a brochure I had picked up a few days ago about a coding bootcamp sitting there right next to me. I had noticed it with the corner of my eye. I picked it up and I made the phone call. I sold my car and used that money to invest in myself, and the rest was history. So I grinded, coded night and day. I tried everything. Years went by. I met someone in the industry, got married, had a son. Life felt good for a while. I finally got my first big break becoming a senior developer to create a mental health journaling app that hundreds of thousands of people would use. I loved seeing people on the subway using the app that I had created. I had my biggest break when I was hired by a multi-7 to 8 figure company to be in charge of creating a social media platform for their 300,000 users. For a few years, I was making multi-6 figures and in charge of a developer team as a tech lead. And then, just like that, the whole development firm got laid off.
I just got laid off. I just got home.
It was like a punch in the gut. But this time, I didn't panic because this time I had the skill. I had a skill. I had learned to code. I wasn't a genius. I didn't have a degree. I focused on one thing and learned it really well. I built my own projects, learned how to talk to other devs. I built my own network in the tech world. For a moment there, the anxiety and the feeling of hopelessness creeped back. Just for a minute, I felt the pressure of being a husband and a dad. But as soon as I started applying, I was back. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. I was able to provide for my family with stability and pride. Fast forward 9 months, I have my own startup company, I have my own dev team, I got a YouTube channel. The best part is, I was able to help a dozen people this year land jobs in this nightmare of a job market. Along the way, I've made so many great relationships, and seeing my mentees climb out of their own rock bottoms inspired me as well. They revived my love for coding again. I know what it's like to feel lost, to feel like there's no way out. But I promise you, there is. The thing you do today will shape the version of you 6 months from now. You can't see it now, but there are many things that are out of your control, but there are things you can do. For example, if you want to learn to code, if you want a way out, pause this video and go to freecodecamp.org. It's free. Start learning JavaScript. It's beginner friendly and powerful. Code for 1 hour a day. No excuses. Join some sort of community or join our community and drop a comment below here saying, I am starting today. 6 months will fly by and just maybe you will have options. Maybe a job, a freelance gig, or even a project that you started and finished all the way to the end. This isn't a dream. It's a plan. It's never too late. I thought I was done 3 different times. I know you thought you were done, but I made it out. Why? Because I finally built a skill I could rely on. Drop me off in Mexico, Costa Rica, a village in Asia, give me a laptop, a Wi-Fi, some shoes, I'll rebuild because I've done it before. And if I can do it, so can you. You're not too far gone. You're not too old. You're not too dumb. You're just early in your story. Everything was a prequel. Start today, build something, learn a skill, invest in yourself. Because the world might knock you down, but if you keep showing up, you will rise. And maybe one day, you'll look back and also say, coding saved my life. I'm so glad I never gave up.